Hello, John Ackerson, Three Lions Garden Center. It is really hot out right now. It's going to be hot for the next 10 to 15 days. That presents a challenge when you have to take care of your plants. If your plants are in the ground, that's a better situation. They're not going to dry out as quickly, but they do still need attention. Watch for them. They'll wilt. Water them, preferably water in the morning. As opposed to watering at night. When you water at night, your plants sit in damp soil and a high humidity environment, and that is not a good environment for your plants. Lots of bad things can happen then. So the first thing is choose the plant that maybe is right for you. One of the easiest ones are succulents. These succulents here probably have not been watered in days, and they're perfectly fine with that. They actually store water in the structure of the plant. We're going to break one of these off, and you'll see inside of there's moisture. So they haven't been watered in days, and they're fine. That's a good selection, a carefree selection. Of course, succulents are very popular right now. If your plants are in pots, like these zinnias here, you're just going to need to check them. These have already been watered today. One of the things that we do is go by weight. So this is relatively heavy. Late this afternoon, it's going to be relatively light because it will have dried out. A lot of the water will have been either taken up by the plant or evaporated. So preferably water in the morning and water deep. And by that I mean water until it comes out of the bottom of the pot. That's a better way to water. It simulates a rain event. The plants don't like just a little dab of water here and there. Give them a good, healthy dose of water until it runs out the bottom of the pot. The other thing you can do is take your plant, if you're going to be away at work all day, and set it in the shade. Just grab the pot, drag it over, and get it some shade, and that's going to prevent it from drying out as quickly and give it a little bit more relief. Let's see. Since container gardening is so popular right now, and the darker containers are very popular, you put a black or dark gray container out in full sunlight, and that pot's going to heat up pretty quickly, and it's going to evaporate the water. So one of the things that we suggest is putting a pot within a pot. And what you're going to do, for contrast, I've shown pots of two different colors. You just set the smaller pot inside the larger pot, and what that does is create an airspace in between. So while this outer darker pot is going to heat up, not all of that heat is going to be transferred to the soil and the root ball of the plant. It's going to help prevent it from drying out. One of the main things is keeping an eye on your plants. Just watch them. Check them in the morning before you leave. If you think it's going to be a really hot day, most of them it's okay. Go ahead and give them a good drink of water. Better to do that in the morning instead of waiting at night until they've wilted and then have them sit around wet all night.
Do you have a pot for people who don't want to do a pot in a pot?
We do have a pot for people that don't want to do a pot in a pot. These are Crescent Garden pots. That's kind of their economy line. Really good, good looking pot. But they also make a line of pots that is double walled. These pots are warranted for 10 years, not to crack, not to fade. This is a double wall Crescent Center pot. You can see this is the thickness of the pot. This is going to do two things. In the summer, it's going to protect, give you that level of insulation to keep the root ball and the soil from getting extremely hot. And in the winter, as the soil freezes, expands, and contracts, this double wall adds a layer of protection of insulation, and it prevents the expansion and contraction from the freeze-thaw cycle from cracking your pot. So we've got these here at Three Lions Garden Center, Crescent Garden pots. They're a great selection. Thanks. Don't forget to water your plants.